Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Behind me, I have a 2007 Honda Pilot, and today we're going to be replacing the rear taillight housings as a complete assembly. Now, before we go ahead and begin, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below. Definitely smash that like button because it helps the channel out. And with that said, let's go ahead and get started on today's video. So the reason why we are going to be replacing these taillights is pretty simple. The lens, after so many years, the glue eventually dries out and just kind of falls down, leaving all of this open. Now, typically there's a clear lens here. These are the factory taillights for this particular Honda for these years. And the way they should look would be kind of like this one right here, where you have your Altezza style light, but with a plastic housing. And if we go here to our trouble light, you can see there's nothing really protecting it from the elements. So that is the main reason why we are going to be replacing the taillights today. Now, we are going to be doing both of them just for a precaution. They are both original taillights since what I want to say 2007 when this vehicle was made. And you know, this glue does tend to come off. It's a very common issue I've seen on these. What'll happen is you'll go to close the tailgate, and just from it closing that impact, the lens just falls off when there's barely anything holding it on. So we're gonna replace both as a precaution today. Now, for tools, it's gonna be pretty simple. We're gonna need just an 8mm. We're gonna be using it on our 1/4" driver. However, our hand ratchet works just as well. But basically, we're only be dealing with the 8mm. It still has the factory bolts. So let's go get some tools and rip these apart. So it's really simple to replace these. You're gonna open up your tailgate, and when you open up the tailgate, you'll see here in the channel, we have these 8mm fasteners. If yours has the factory hardware, they should be 8mm. Since these are older and people have probably opened these up to replace bulbs, you may have a different variation to the bolts if someone modified it. But for us, it's 8mm. These are the factory ones. We're gonna go ahead and just remove the 2 bolts. Just like that, and they're not anything special, just 8mm head, big washer, and I believe these are metric thread, which is pretty nice. And then all you should have to do is just pull out and they come off. Now, I will say that on this side here, you have these 2 locating tabs. Sometimes these clips will go into the body right here, which, let me see if I can get this thing to cooperate with us, which it probably won't, but let me grab the camera. So those pins will sometimes locate in here, and depending on how brittle these are, they could be stuck in there. Sometimes you will have to kind of use your palm to push it out a little bit, and that should help because sometimes they do wind up sticking in there. I have seen it quite a few times. But now that we have this out of here, there's only 3 bulbs that we have in these housings, and what we're gonna do is go ahead and start off by spinning off our entire housing with our bulbs. And it's pretty simple. Just kind of twist the sockets and let them go just like that. And then we should have this little clip holder that holds our wiring loom. We're just gonna go ahead and take that and push that off to the side. Now, this is a good idea while you're in here to replace your bulbs, especially if they're getting old. Now, these do look like they have a little bit of use on them. So what I'm gonna do is replace our bulbs. So we're gonna go ahead and grab 2 of these. Now, for the bulbs here, I wanna say these are the 7743s for both of them. So let me just verify here. Yep, so they both use the same bulb. So we need 2 7743s and a, I wanna say 194 bulb, which is what this is. So let me go ahead and grab those, and we're gonna go ahead and replace them. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and just pull out our old bulbs. It's pretty simple. They should just come straight out just like that. And we're gonna go ahead and put these to the side. And then we have our new bulbs here that I had in my pocket. And we are going to replace them with the new ones just as a precaution. We are just going to pop them all in here. Just like so. I always like doing it as a precaution, even though the other bulbs were working. I don't want to have to open it up again, you know, fairly soon. So, you know, it's always good to be mindful of little things like that. Especially if you're doing this at home, it'll save you going back in there. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to take our new lens out of the box, make sure it's the right side and make sure it looks correctly, which That is what we are looking for. Nice and shiny and new. And typically when you buy these new, you will have these little stickers on here. You're gonna wanna have to take them off. Now this is a aftermarket lens assembly. You can get these brand new, but hopefully if you get them new, you have deep pockets, because they are not cheap, to say the least. So what I'm gonna do is basically make sure it all matches up, which it does. I'm gonna go grab a rag and just clean inside here a little bit, because these don't really get cleaned out too well. Kind of remove some dust and debris, and then we're gonna go ahead and put our assembly in and install it. So the way I like to clean this is a rag, some rubbing alcohol. What I'll do is I'll just spray it very nice here. The reason why I like using alcohol, if you have it, is because sometimes these pockets can get a little moldy, because water will have a tendency to sit in here. So I just come in here, and you're not looking to go really crazy on cleaning it. I just give it a nice little wipe down in all the little hidden areas and try to remove, you know, a little bit of dirt. So just like that, our pocket is nice and clean now. If you don't clean it, it's not gonna really hurt anything, but I mean, we got some dirt out of there. I don't know. I'm kind of a clean freak, so I like keeping things clean. So now what we're gonna do is we take our new taillight housing, and we're gonna start off at the bottom here, and this is the one that goes on the bottom. And all you simply do is basically put it in there, and the way these work is you'll just kind of line it up and it'll fall into place here. Now hopefully I got this set up here correctly. Now these can be tricky at best, so there you go. Our first one is in, found the way it goes, and these aren't like your standard ones. These are kind of a triangle shape. As you will see, they don't use like those regular little locking tabs where it's 3 little tabs and you gotta get them situated in a certain way. So what I'm gonna do now is take our lower wire and make sure we clip it into our little clip housing here, like our old one had, which this tab is pretty brittle, but we're just gonna go ahead and get that in there. And then we're gonna go ahead and install our little side bulb here that came off the side, and it's very difficult to get the camera in here to show everyone this portion of it, but basically how you take it off is how it goes in. If I can get it to line up, sometimes that is the difficult part, just getting it to line up, and make sure we twist it, and we are golden. So now that we have that, we're gonna make sure everything is good. And then what we're gonna do is go ahead and line up our little clips here on the side. And then we are going to push our tail light in. And this one's looking pretty good. It looks like we got everything correct there. And then what we're gonna do is grab our fastener. Now be careful if you're using an impact. You don't wanna go crazy. Just very light, as you can see there. These don't take a lot of torque. They go into metal and they're holding down plastic, so doesn't take a genius to figure out that it's very low torque at best. So once you have it in there, pretty much that's all you have to do. Now we are going to be doing the other side as well, but it's basically the same procedure, just flip-flopped. For the sake of not making the video super long, I'm just gonna pretty much show you this side, the one that we just did. So that is what it basically entails. Pretty quick, simple, and easy. And you could do this in less than probably 5 minutes in your garage or at home, in the driveway, street, wherever. So that's how easy it is to replace your taillight assembly on an 07 Honda Pilot. So that is how you replace your taillight housing assembly on an 07 Honda Pilot. Now this will work for a variety of years of Pilots. I know it starts off in, I believe, 2002 or 2001 when this body style got introduced, all the way up to 09 or 2010. And even the generations that changed the body afterwards, if you open up the liftgate, it's a similar process. There's 2 bolts. They really didn't vary these too much. So you can do this on multiple years of Honda Pilots. Now I will say you don't have to replace your tail lamp housing to do this. You can also use this technique for the light bulbs. You just don't replace the housing, you just swap out the bulbs and you put it back together. It's the same exact process, pretty quick, simple, and easy. So hopefully this video helps you guys out. Like always, comment, like, and subscribe because it definitely helps the channel grow. I hope everyone has a wonderful day and I will catch you on the next video.